We're narrowing in on the Gridiron Show, which is just around the corner. I always look forward to the Gridiron Show because it is a different spin on politics. It's a different look at a lot of our elected leaders. And joining us now to talk about this, Michael Haston and Kelly Kissel. Michael, welcome back. Kelly, welcome.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, indeed.
Glad to have you on. All right, let's start with the absolute basics. For those that are unfamiliar with the show, what is it and how did it come to be?
Okay, back in 1951, they formed a group called the Capital Correspondence Association. A bunch of reporters got together, and they started dreaming up. So in 1952, they actually put on a show which they poked fun at politics, politicians. They wrote some silly skits and to make fun of, they make fun of themselves as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, you just have a good time doing it. And fortunately, the audiences seem to participate and enjoy the show.
Your role in it has been what?
Well, the last year and this year, I'm playing Edwin Edwards, reincarnated.
Okay.
So I have to come back, from the great beyond.
Okay. To stand as a groomsman? No.
No.
Oh, it's even worse.
But you're close.
Okay.
I'm trying to find someone to who can never take my place, as the line goes.
I got you.
So anyway, and I've been, back years ago, I was Buddy Romer for one skit. I was standing out there on the stage in tights and a doublet. And if you know me, that's not a pretty picture.
So, and we're going to get into a little bit of the history and the changing culture as well. That it shouldn't affect things, but it will eventually. But first, I want to welcome in Kelly a little bit. This is your first year.
This is my first year performing in the show. I'd seen it several times in the 70s and 80s. I had a couple of high school drama teachers who were involved in it, and so I would go out and watch. Moved away from Baton Rouge in the mid 80s, and just got back to the city 4 or 5 years ago, and always knew I would be in the show eventually. And this is the year that it finally all fell together.
What's your role in the show?
I have 6.
Oh, wow.
So one of them,
the only one I'm in either.
Stephen Wagaspack, as he tries to find who lobby will support.
Okay.
In the upcoming general election, and that one has a surprise ending and a song. Let's see, Mr. Dodson, the parish attorney, over the over stormwater fees, which is be appropriate on a day when we're about to get storms, and depending on what happens today, we may have to rewrite part of that script. Let's see, Chip Gaines from TV fame, the TV like one of those TV one of those.
Fixer upper.
Like Chip and Joanna.
Fixer upper. Yeah. So anyway, so the project they take on are the Pentagon Barracks, and there's actually one line. I think I probably could do this because it's still going to get laughs next week. That how many buildings are there at the Pentagon Barracks? There are actually only 4.
There are. I know.
And so we make a joke about the 5th.
Okay.
And let's see. There's probably, I don't know. I got a couple other songs.
Yeah.
Mickey Loomis, the Saints. I've got it. Like I said, they just all run together, and it's one of those things where that you hope that the lineup for the show gives you enough time to change costumes because it runs the range.
Well, yeah, this isn't like SNL. You don't have those.
We don't have a 2-minute commercial break.
Yeah. So
there's a little room off on the side, and everybody's trying to cram into the same room and change clothes at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a mess in there.
I was actually told to just dress in everything and just put in the order, the layer that you need, and then you just.
Well, as long as the temperature stays where it's going to be, you might be all right.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm Sean Wilson, and I'm good. 3 or 4. I'm Fred Rayford.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. We have a little bit in
about the traffic lights.
So I thought Kelly as Wagaspack might be bad casting, but you as Sean Wilson.
I'm also Collis Temple, so I mean, there.
So we know what's needed for the cast of the Great Show.
Yes, that's diversity. That's what we need, please.
We also don't want to do typecasting either. And he's
sure.
Sean Wilson, and he'll, and I'm sure he'd make a great governor for next year's show if that happens. So.
How much of the show, or how much of the writing of the show really ramps up for an election year? I mean, we've got everybody's in play this year.
Actually, we get it ramped up every year. Believe it or not, we start writing the show in January.
Mhm.
You know, and a lot of weeks we have 2 writing sessions, and then we get sit there. Whoops, that doesn't work. There goes that
Throw
one
out
out
the
the
whole
window.
thing.
You
Yeah.
know?
Right. Or yeah, and then events also change because I mean
Yeah.
I think there's there's stuff with with Jim Donnellan, and
Yeah.
we had an entire we have a sizable sketch involving the insurance commissioner,
Yeah.
and we had to revise it when he said he wouldn't run for reelection. And I mean it still fits, but
Yeah, I mean, he's still going to be insurance commissioner for the remainder of
oh
this
yeah,
year. He can still.
and he will always
Dying to know where that
always be
sketch is
the
going.
most uninteresting man in the world.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. That's what we did the takeoff. On the beer commercial where we had the most uninteresting man in the world. So,
I had a vision of like a street corner holding up one of the signs trying to funnel people in. You know how like the sandwich shops will send the guy out there?
Yeah.
Maybe putting on like a hot dog costume. I don't know. Gridiron show's coming up. Date, time, and where can folks get tickets?
Okay, it is March 24th. That is a week from today.
Yeah.
So we're coming down to the deadline here. Right now, you can get tickets through our website, which is gridironbr.org.
Mhm.
Get the org. I went to com and it didn't work.
Okay.
So anyway, and there's a thing you can click on, get the tickets through Bon Tom Tix.
Okay.
Okay, and it's a nonprofit that handles our ticket service. The tickets are $30.
Mm-hmm.
You'll pay 26 something, and then there'll be a little fee that knocks it up to 30. Okay, so we used to do it by mail, and we can't trust mail that
Fair
much
enough.
These days. So, and it would be way too late to put something in the mail.
Well, no. Yeah.
Okay, the doors. We're at the American Legion Hall out on Wooddale Boulevard. It's 151 Wooddale.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the jet. And you're in the right place if you see the jet in the parking lot.
Gotcha.
Okay. The doors open at 6:30. People bring in loads of food. At the moment, we're at tables at 10. You could buy 1 ticket. You could buy 2, 3, 4, 5. Whatever. Whole ticket. A table is 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so people are bringing in their food. It's like a tailgate party, and the thing until the show starts at 7:45.
Mm-hmm.
That's when Darren, the man, and I. He's the president. I'm the vice president. We come out and we do a little pre-opening skit, and then we have the opening song. So,
Length of time, show runs about what, hour and a half, 2 hours?
about 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. The Gridiron show coming up.
An hour and a half as it's written, 2 hours with laughter.
Okay.
To tell you a lot about it.
So waiting for laughs. Yes, we may wait a long time.
Wanted to budget a little time on the back end of this just to make sure. I wanted to make sure we got in all the details about the website and buying tickets and kind of the format for the night. But I wanted to talk about the nature of comedy and political comedy over the years, because the Gridiron show, kind of like the White House Correspondents' Dinner, I don't want to say it's definitely not a safe space for those who are being lampooned, but it's a safe space to get things off your chest, to speak truth to power by completely being, not completely being over the top in the comedy about them. We don't live in the world today where that was a lot more accepted before. Do y'all feel you have to sidestep landmines along the way?
We really don't want to.
Okay. No, yeah, that's the point.
We don't mean to offend people, but if there's something funny, we're going to do it. We've had people didn't like the show at all. We got a nasty letter from Mark Drennan about how the show wasn't factual.
It's comedy.
So, and then we've had some people that just came one time and didn't come back.
Okay.
But we've got people who come every year.
It's a staple on the Baton Rouge calendar. It absolutely is. And it just with the nature of how dialed in and wound up we all are, it's needed more now than in the past.
Well, I mean, you have to be able to laugh at yourself and at situations. I mean, one of the skits I'm in, the one over over the stormwater fees.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, I sat down and read through all 2 pages of it the night that I got it, and I said, these are all actual statements practically that everybody said, and the punchline is about how, the city parish, there was never an agreement with the feds to not talk. But when you go back and you parse everybody's statement, nobody ever said there was. It was just it was a 2 or 3 month misunderstanding. And
I
so
mean,
yeah, it's
yeah.
like I said. This truly is a show that is ripped from today's headlines.
Yeah, absolutely. One more about the nature of the comedy and whatnot. Politicians are a lot more buttoned up now, or at least they try to be. Is it harder to pull material now than it has been in the past, simply because of how measured everybody is? Everybody knows there's always a microphone on, a camera that's hot.
Like I said, we really don't take that a lot into consideration.
Okay.
I mean, they're either going to like it or they're not, but we, there's times that we really have looked at something and said, that's really, really not fair.
Mm-hmm.
We don't worry about, borderline stuff, but something goes over the top, we cut it out.
Yeah, I think it's a fair show. I mean, it's a parody. It's a lampoon, but I don't think anybody who's in the show or who's quote targeted in the show, there's no meanness about it. I mean, take the Attorney General. I mean, what is he taking? He's taking on books. He's taking on various social issues, and there are things that you can find humor in, to the level of it's like, there's a skit where he speaks about the books, yeah, and it is just sort of like and then his the website that he's taking, here's where to lodge all your complaints about these books. And so anyway, people are putting all of these colorful comments about the books that they've seen in the library shelves. And then at the end, somebody comes in and says, wait a minute. And then there's a punchline there. And he has to go off stage absolutely stunned by the turn of events.
We're going
to come see.
We're going to go over by a minute here. 'Cause I got one more for you. And I want to hear, do you have a story of the politician who's been ridiculously offended? Because I would imagine the bigger the name, the more they can take, because it's the more they've given out in the past. Has anybody just been like, any past governor just been absolutely no, that was unacceptable?
I'm trying to think of somebody back. I've been in the show since '86. No, in fact, we've had the politicians who just loved it that we made fun of them because So,
Any publicity is good publicity.
Roared at the show, and Kathleen Blanco and her husband, Coach, they just absolutely loved the show. They waited for it.
Well, it is like I said, it is a Baton Rouge staple. Was it brgridiron.org or gridironbr.org?
GridironBR.
GridironBR.org is the website. Tickets are $30. It's coming up a week from tonight. You're not going to want to miss it. Michael, Kelly, thank you all so much for a couple minutes this morning.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian.